I am Gavin Gale, also known as your Success Connector, and I am so honored that you have decided to register to receive your 5 strategic tips to successful connecting. I'm going to give you a PDF of this as well, but I wanted to give you my story a little bit so you understand where I'm coming from with believing that I have something important to share with you. I have been, my history goes long term. Okay, I started out working for my parents after a summer of picking black raspberries, which was hot and horrendous. Oh my goodness, why would I do that ever again, even with a big hat on in the hot, humid sun of Ohio? It was not a fun gig at all. So I progressed. So by the time I was 16, I was actually working in their offices. I grew up in an entrepreneurial family. They had their own business, and I worked for them on and off through the years. Then I went and ended up being a secretary for 24 years. And a lot of my secretarial jobs were answering the phones to a multitude of people. I worked for the mayor of a city once. I've worked for psychics. Have I have been an assistant or an executive assistant to many different arenas of the business world. My last real big official position was with a company that manufactured all the machines that our newspapers and our magazines are processed on. It was wonderful, and I actually was in the customer service department where I worked with like 35 sales reps that were all over the country. And I had to learn these different personalities because each of them had very specific requests of where they wanted to sit on the airplane, what rooms they wanted at the hotel, what their eating desires were, when was the best time to reach them. I learned how to be patient and diplomatic being a secretary. And it has been a great experience because then it led into me being in the sales world. When the company that I worked for decided, well, they were bought out. They didn't decide anything. They were bought out. When they were bought out, it was a devastation to the community because it was one of 2 big manufacturing facilities that employed a lot of people, not just 1 or 2 from a family, but generations of families. And I watched a lot of heartache go on. And I'm sure you've seen things like that yourself, and hopefully you haven't been part of those. Whoops, hold on a second. This hair's driving me crazy. Okay, never mind. So anyway, it's awful to be seeing yourself in a camera when you're talking. So we'll go on. But here's the thing. I had been in the secretarial world for 24 years. What I learned was that if you're good in a particular field and you're employed by someone else, sometimes they don't want to promote you because they like you right where you are. You are most beneficial to their life being where you are. But sometimes you have to ask yourself, is that where I want to be? I don't know. No, it wasn't where I wanted to be for the rest of my life. So I ventured out into the sales world. When I got into advertising, a couple of wonderful things happened for me. I learned there's a huge world of activity going on outside of a corporate cubicle. Wow! Who knew? I didn't know. But once I got the taste of that kind of freedom, no more cubicles for me. But in the course of learning the ropes of being an outside salesperson, I had a knack for believing how to approach people. But here's the clue. Okay. And this is in a book and all this stuff. One of the things that was very slow to my progress is no one ever took me by the hand and said, Gail, this is how you sell advertising. No one ever took me on a sales call with them. I was put in this little office and given a box of index cards, and these are your customers. There's the phone. There's your... I didn't know what to do. So I won't give you the whole story here. You can actually get the book, or later on I might do a series on this. But today I want to give you those tips. But I thought it would be important if you had the background of why I can give you these and totally believe that they're of value for you, because I would have been so much further along in my career had someone helped me. Somebody taking me by the hand and said, Gail, this is how you do it. So I had to learn by the seat of my pants. So since I didn't know how to sell advertising, all I knew was how to be a consumer. So when I would walk in to talk about somebody with their advertising, my first thing was to sit down and ask them a ton of questions to get to know them, to even know if what I brought to them was something that would help them. How was I to know if I didn't ask those questions? Well, that was great, and it was very beneficial for me, because that's how I became known as a golden girl of advertising in upstate New York. Went on to create my own publication. But there was also another element. It wasn't just about meeting my clients. I needed to know the community. I needed to connect with more people. And that's when I learned the art of networking. I became an ambassador to the chamber. And true confessions, I got to tell you, I was always the one they asked to start the food line. There you go. I love to eat. And they would say, hey, Gail, get the food line started. Well, I was a single mom at the time. It was a small town. And so not only did I get to start the food line, but they gave me the leftovers at the end of the evening. Woo-hoo! So yes, networking events are very important to you. So I know you've tuned in here because you've subscribed, registered to get these 5 tips. So I don't want to keep you all day, but I just thought it would be important to you to understand that from that experience, I learned how important it was to network, and that's networking in person, which was all the option we had years ago, was to go to the different events that, you would, as an advertising person, I got the newspaper. I would go to the business page every day and I would look to see where things were going on. I would register. I would go. And here's what I got to tell you first and foremost. If you belong to any association, that's the chamber, that's a BNI, that's anything, you will not experience anything from those organizations unless you engage in their activities. If you are just visiting, you might investigate whether it's something you want to join. And if you join, you don't just sit on the sidelines and watch. You get involved. You get on committees. You volunteer. You do things. You need to position yourself as a person that really cares about the connecting part of this. And how do you do that? You become totally involved. So I did that. And I have done that for years. And I have been on boards. And I have been recently elected to the board of the business association that I belong to. It's all about making connections, not just for today, not just for what you're doing today. It's a lifetime mission. It truly is. I can connect with people I met years ago because we had that kind of relationship. And so I decided I wanted to give you 5 strategic tips to successful connecting. So I wrote them down on my little shoe connector because I like shoes too. Okay, it's not about me. Okay, in fact, that's the first thing that I want to share with you. When you decide to go to a networking event, and it's not important which one, these are important to all of it. And today, we get to connect through social media. These still apply. Some of them might go, what? It doesn't sound like it applies. But you know how to adjust what I'm saying so that if it's an online thing, it's a little bit of a different twist. But these are all things that are important to connecting with people. The word networking should be changed to connecting, because we have network marketers and then we have networking. And sometimes people get those confused. Well, we're going to talk to you. Okay, what I'm going to talk to you about today is about connecting. for long-term relationships. And sometimes connecting is a very short term, just depending on what it's all about. So here are the things that I've jotted down. I'm going to give you a PDF for this as well, so you can print them off and it'll be all done up and nice. But I thought it would be cool if you actually heard the words from me, because I share these all the time. Your first tip, first and foremost above everything else, is when you walk into a networking event or you connect online through LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you do, it's not about you. If you really want to connect with someone, it is not about you. It's about learning about that person. Be interested. You want to know about that person. You want to research. If you're going to attend an event, you want to research that event. Is it truly your audience? Or do you just want to go connect with a different audience or a different group of people to see if that's a market that you want to get involved in? Or if you're looking to change careers? You see, connecting and networking has many different uses. It doesn't necessarily mean just about the occupation or the business that you're in right now. Going to different events gives you a different perspective of what other people are doing. So when you go to that event, you're going to think of 5 business leaders that you would like to meet at that particular event. So it does require research. It requires research to see who might be at that event that you'd like to get to know. If you are an insurance person, are you looking for businesses to insure? Or are you looking for the people to insure at those businesses? So you're going to want to go to their website if they have an organization website for that particular meeting you're going to. And you can research right there. Who are the 5 people that you want to meet? Do you have specific names or particular categories of people you want to meet? So that's number 2. 3. Here's a question that it's a fun question, and I love to ask it. When you meet someone, ask what they do. Don't blurt all over them what you do. No. You ask, what do you do? That's question. That's number 3. Your next question, how many years have you been there? And you listen and you respond actively. What the heck? Woo! That was an interesting thing. I don't know what happened to my camera there. Well, okay. Do not be looking at those parts. Okay. That was a freaky thing. Okay. All right. Well, okay. You're going to listen to their answer and you're going to respond in kind. You don't just ask a question and be thinking of what you want to say next. Because remember, it's not about you. You want to learn about them. And when I say you respond actively, it means you respond if you ask someone, because once you ask them what they do and how long they've been there, and you start that conversation going, then you're going to respond actively. If you're a parent and your kids are really, really important to you and you have this conversation, well, how many kids do you have? Where do you live? Do you like what you do? You have these questions. It's a conversation you're having with someone that you want to build a relationship with. Treat them like a friend that you're just learning about, because they may become a friend that may never do business with you, but they know people that they can send business to you, or maybe business never plays into it. I have lots of friends that business never plays into it. And that's awesome. That is something that enriches your life. So when I say listen actively, that means respond in kind to what they say. And then number 5, ask them when you're out and about, what should you listen to for that would be a good referral to them? And then ask them for several of their business cards, so that when you do hear some of those words they've suggested you listen for, you have the business cards to share with them. Now, this is one thing that I want you to listen to very, very carefully. If you ask someone for their business card and they don't ask for yours, do not give it to them. They're not interested. They probably are not someone you want to continue building a relationship with. I know that's hard to hear because we get business cards and we love to send them out. We also, online with social media, someone will ask for our link to our website. We give that to them. If they don't ask, we do not offer it. And we definitely do not take business cards home from anywhere and decide to add them to our newsletter. Do not do that. If someone wants on your newsletter and you've given them a business card, they know how to get on your newsletter. Do not stalk people. Do not harass people. Do not puke on people about what you do. You want to be the person that walks in the room with a big smile on your face and wanting to meet them and learn about them. And if you meet that person that never says to you, so what do? Never asks for your business card, here's my recommendation. You send them to this list and remind them to look at number 1. First and foremost, it is not about you. I truly believe these 5 steps, these 5 strategies will help you to connect. I hope to bring you more. I have so many stories to share with you about the importance of connecting and how you can add more and more value to what you do personally and professionally just by being a connector yourself. And I ask everybody, no matter what it is that I project or send out, is do me one favor every day. Put this in your arsenal, put it in your quiver, just breathe it, do it. And that's just simply pass on a smile. It is so contagious. And every day that you just catch someone's eye and you give them a smile, you might be the only one giving them a smile that day, and you will have made a difference. So appreciate you. Thank you for you registering. Thank you for tapping into these strategies, and let's connect in so many ways. You'll find my links all over, and I would appreciate hearing from you. You can send me a tweet at Gail Foley, #GabandGail. You can connect with me on Facebook. It's Connect with Gab and Gail. LinkedIn, it's Gail Foley. Just click the links. It'll happen. Take care. Have a marvelous, marvelous life.